Namaste. Welcome to Refeel Yoga. Oh, Jesus. How is everybody today? I just wait a minute for these things to finish, like as usual. Make sure the sound is good. Yeah, sounds good. Okay. So, welcome everyone. Thank you for coming again to our Sunday morning meditation or Sunday evening for those of you joining from Europe. Nice to see you all here. Hello, Nadine. Nadine said she just watched our wedding video in Thailand. She says that you look like a goddess.
Oh, thank you.
I cried so much. Every time I watch this video, I cry so much. And I've seen it like 30 times. Every time I cry like crazy. If you haven't seen our wedding video, check it out. I think it was actually the first video we put on the channel. Yeah, very sweet. Hello, Svetlana. Glad that you could join for the meditation. Happy to see you here. Moon, glad you could make it too. Maria, nice to see you again. And Vicky, they were both just in the class with me. If anybody wants to join the Zoom classes, they're going really well. I'm really enjoying the Zoom classes to do these live practices with you. That's happening Sunday and Wednesday mornings at 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. The cost is $9 Canadian per class. If you'd like to join one of those live practices with us, you can write to us at the refeelyoga@gmail.com and we'd be happy. We'd really enjoy to meet you on the mat. And what else do we have to say? You've got your really exciting program is coming out next weekend. Clelly has been working very hard on this. It was meant to be a 10-day challenge, but she ended up making a whole 10-day program, workshop, working with the emotions, and it's the journey through the self. Very beautiful process and much needed. So many of us need to go on this journey of discovering our emotions and learning to work with that energy to really tap in with our nature. So that'll be released on the 8th, next Monday.
Yeah, next Monday.
So we'll start releasing that next Monday, the 8th of February. And that will be available to our members on Patreon as well as to our Refeel Yogi members here on YouTube. So I know there's quite a few of you that are looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to it. I've been editing it, but I want to join in on the process too. So I think it'll be lots of fun. So we have to look forward to that. I don't think we have other announcements today. So I'll pass it over to Clelia, who's going to guide us through a very powerful meditation today.
So welcome to everybody. Again, thank you to come to our meeting. And so today, meditation. Well, last time that I guided meditation, we was working with the sound and the music meditation because this is my favorite. So we went to this world of music meditation and how everything in the world, everything in this universe is vibration. And we saw a little bit that there is a vibration with the mantra, and there is a different level of the vibration and sound. So there was it's already a big world where we can walk and meditate. The next step that I want to do today is kind of a little bit the opposite, but come from the same sources, from the vibration, because it is the listening of the silence, nada. So the nada meditation, you can find many information in a different source in a different way. How we understand and how we want to approach to the nada meditation is that nada meditation comes from is a branch of what we call Laya Yoga. Laya Yoga, Laya means dissolution. So this branch of yoga, it can be applied to in many different ways. because the dissolution of the subject, so it can be done with sound, it can be done with form, colors, emotion. The means, the goal of this kind of yoga is that you have one object and the subject that are you in one point, you merge completely and you start to vibrate with the vibration of the macrocosmos, because in Tantra, in Kundalini, we really believe that there is the microcosmos and then there is the macrocosmos, that is the universe. Everything happens in the macrocosmos, it happens also in the microcosmos. Okay, so everything we do here at some level, we understand, then we start to understand what happens to the macrocosmos. Okay, so with this Laya meditation, the dissolution, the goal is arrive to merge completely with the subject, with the object, sorry, and then in one point start to vibrate to the vibration of the universe, the macrocosmic. Okay. In the specific, when we work today, what we want to work is with the sound, okay, because of course it's my favorite. And in this case, we talk about nada. So the nada, it's the sound, the vibration of. So there are different ways. There are the nada for. The anahata nada, that is this inner sound that this vibration that we can hear inside us. So the idea, today we will do the first step of this meditation. The idea is to enter in Pratyahara, so means that all the sense will close inside. So from, for example, the first sense that usually we close with the meditation is the eyes, because we close the eyes. So this already gives a sense of I go inside, and this I always also suggest during the yoga class for this reason, to really attune with the inside, with ourselves. Then the sound is a little bit more difficult because all we use artificial things, like we close our ear with the thumb. We can use
I forgot to bring my earplugs.
We can use the earplugs, or really easy we can use also the headphone. And somehow they close the ear. We close this hole that is the ear. Okay, so the vibration of the sound are not come inside. At the moment that this happens, okay, what happens that we start to listen the sound of the silence. There is a specific sound that again we call anahata nada, that it's this kind of be inside us that can have many different levels. When we start to hear this, it can be very gross, and then it become more subtle and more subtle. And this is when we come in resonance with this kind of vibration, we are entering resonance with the vibration of the universe. So the idea, the first step of this meditation, because then we will do in the next couple of Sunday how we can go more deep. The idea is today to close our senses, so I will guide you a little bit, and try to really find and to really
feel or hear, seek out this
hear this subtle sound that everybody have inside. Okay, as soon as you find this kind of sound, the idea is to merge, because this sound will become our object. So the idea is that we start to merge with this sound. So we find the sound, we start to focus and to go deep on the hearing of this sound, to then eventually in the step, in advanced step, it's really to merge completely, start to resonate at the same vibration, and then eventually the last step is reach samadhi, because also there we can have a freedom or completely understanding, because we start to resonate with the most high vibration of this universe, the first vibration that happens in the world and then create all the universe. So in this case, we can reach samadhi, liberation, because we start to resonate, because we merge completely with this kind of vibration. So this is the meditation of today, that it can be called the nada meditation, but of course, like everything nowadays, there can be many different way, many different I thought
Variations.
that there is many different variation. And also Laya Yoga, there are many persons that think the Laya Yoga is something that is Kundalini Yoga. It's slightly different. The fact is that the goal of this meditation or the goal of the Laya Yoga is merge with the object. And today the object is this nada, this sound, anahata nada, that is the nada, the inner sound that we have inside. And this is where we go. So I like to associate this kind of meditation with the sound meditation because again, somehow it's the same, but it's the opposite. I mean, one is we listen the sound outside, and this one is we listen the sound inside, and somehow it's we listen the sound of the silence because there are no source come from outside, or if there is a source, what we want to do is really try to close the sense inside, to go inside and really in the state of Pratyahara. So this first state of meditation where we go completely inside, and then there is dhyana where we merge it, we first find the sound, and then dhyana when we completely go and become the same, and then illumination. We go to samadhi. Great. So this was the introduction for the meditation of today. Again, I will guide you for the first part a little bit, and then I will let you merge with this sound. Don't worry if today you will not find these sounds, especially if it's the first time that you do. It will take a bit of time to really manage to close and find these sounds inside you. And again, it will change because it will be more gross and then more subtle and go on and on. Of course, like everything, things need practice. Usually a good way to see if one practice is working with you or not, it's try the same things for 21 days. 21 days because something at the neurological levels happens and we transform something in that become an habit for every day. So in 21 days we training our system to become then an habit. So if you want to try any of this meditation, any of this practice to really see what is happens to you and have the fully experience, minimum is to start to practice for 21 days the same meditation or practice and see what happens. So don't be sad or discouraged if today you don't find the sounds. It's perfectly okay, or maybe you will find immediately. So it's very subjective. Suggestion that I give today, in one point I will suggest you maybe to close with your thumb the here. Of course 20 minutes with the hand on the here it would be a bit maybe higher for the arms, but this it can be when you start, because in this case it's like you attune with these sounds. And then as soon you find it, maybe you can take your hand down. Then maybe in one point you will lose the sound. So what to do again? Come back. I focus again, come back to where is the sound. As soon as I find the sound, I put the hand down. So this can be one suggestion. The other suggestion, if you have a ear plug, you can use it and put when we start until the end, or headphone. You can also this working, And again, every time that you find the sound, try to merge with that sound. And as soon you lost, come back. Try to, to attune again. It can be also helpful. I listen a moment what is going on outside, and then I go back inside again and I find the sound again. Okay, so this is what we will try today. And again, don't worry if it would be not happens in 1 second today. It's okay. Like everything, you need practice. And remember that in yoga, there is no failure. There is just try and improve all the time. So
I want to just re-clarify some things because we were glitching out a bit and some information might have gotten lost. I don't know what happened. I apologize for the poor connection there, guys, but it looks like it's better. So we're going to do this meditation listening for the inner sound, the inner nada. For everyone, that inner sound might sound different because everyone has a unique vibration. But what it's often sounding like is kind of a high-pitched frequency inside the head. A high like or even higher. similar to the condition known as, I think it's pronounced tinnitus, where you get this sort of ringing in your ears, similar to the ringing in the ears after like loud music, but different.
Eh, Yes and no, because when you start, it can be also some kind of more low sound or crackly. Because again, when there are many different explanations for that, and sometimes it can be also the first sound that we start to, capture. It's sound that it happens inside our body. So it can be the blood circulation that have a specific sound that we don't hear now, but there is something that is going on inside, or the heartbeat, or the internal organs. It can be many things that is happens. So for this reason, usually it's start from very noisy wrong sound and then goes slowly, more subtle and more this. And there are tests, in a hatha yoga pradipika is described in one point the sound like the flute or this come si chiama, the harp, this the blim blim
Harp, yeah.
the harp. For this reason, especially in the Hindu tradition, each deity have always one instrument. Because it's also that is this. There are all these, Laya yoga that is based on that, on this the sound and how it can the vibration be divine, and how from the vibration everything is created. So there are very different level to hear this sound. So really just be aware in what happens, and again it's like any meditation, it's like when we repeat the mantra, when we do soham, when we observe the breathing, it can change each time. So just observe what happens and try to really be focused, present, and aware about the effect of this meditation. Of course, this kind of meditation have thousands, like any meditation, have thousands of benefit, and it can be applied again in many different ways. But today we use the sound, so the nada. Great question, or we go directly?
Questions are
later. Okay, just need to press.
Yeah.
Great. So we start this. We call nada meditation. And like as usual, we start in a sitting position. One of the common things in almost all the meditation is have the spine straight. Spine straight because it's the Sushumna Nadi, where all the energy are moving, the main channel, the spine. And somehow also in this meditation, the nada, this anahata nada, is also happens in the Sushumna Nadi. So this is another reason to really try to have this nice, good alignment of the body with the shoulder down. You can take your hand to the knee. And give a nice alignment also at the last part of the spine. So this means that your chin should be parallel to the floor. It's not too up or down, but parallel. So this will really complete the alignment of the spine. We try to keep a steady and calm breath through the nose. And all together, we take just one deep breath through the nose. And we exhale to the mouth. And in the meantime, we slowly close the eyes. We come back to the natural flow of the breath. And just for a moment, we really bring our awareness in the present moment, and we have a quick scan of our body for all the system, the physical body, but also the mental and emotional body. At the physical level, we try to relax all the part of the body that all the muscles of the body that in this moment are no need, to soften the muscles of the face and the small detail. And to create a nice and soft flow of the breath. We try to have a free mind, a clear mind, and an open heart. And from the center of our heart, we really and truly express this intention, the desire to merge with the universal sound. Remember that the intention of every action is one of the most important things. So we really try to keep this meditation, this practice, with this desire of succeed, the desire of merge with the universe. And to believe of this, to create this from a normal experience to go to an extraordinary experience. And then we move to our sense. The eyes are already closed, the mouth are closed. Maybe we start to attune with our hearing, the listening, and we start to listen the sound around us. We don't give any form or shape to the sound. We don't try to identify the source. We just try to listen. We try to listen the most far sound that we can hear in this moment. Then from the most far sound, we move to the most near sound that we can hear. And we are still working with the sound that comes from the external source. So it's a very near sound still outside of us. We jump again from the near sound to the very far sound. And then we come back to the near one. And now that we are really attuned, our tools, our instruments that are here, very gently we try to really go inside, to move the attention inside us, to withdraw all the sense inside and enter in a state of Pratyahara. If you want to try to go again more deep and have some kind of help, here is the moment that maybe you can close your ear with the thumb. And really observe what happens. Try to listen the sound of the silence. And eventually attune with the anahata nada, the inner sound. And as soon as you find that, just stay focused on the sound. And try to merge completely with the source of the sound. If in any moment you lose the sound or thoughts come in your mind, don't worry, it's okay. Gently come back and again try to find the sounds and again go merge with it. And very gently and slowly come back on your physical body. Take a couple of deep breaths here with the eyes closed. And again, move to the sound outside. Gently, slowly start to come back also to the external input, to move the attention from inside to outside. And maybe observe if, if you find the sound, if the sound's still there. Sometimes happens that this inner sound, this nada, it will be more strong of the sound outside. And overall, observe the effect of this meditation, this sense of calm and peace, focus of the mind, the expansion of the being. And the next inhale, take your hand together in the front of the chest. The palms are touching each other and your thumb are touching the center of the chest. And we take a moment here of gratitude. Gratitude to ourselves, to take the time for this meditation, for this practice. And always, always thankful with the universe for this amazing energy, for this amazing life. Drop the chin down to the chest. Very gently, slowly, open your eyes and say hello again to yourself. Thank you. Namaste. Thank you. I hope that you have enjoyed this meditation of the day. And I still a little bit spaced out, sorry. So if you have any question for this meditation, give me a moment because this is drama. If you have any question for this meditation, please write us. I officially open the part of Q&A.
Q&A, question and answer.
Yes, question and answer. Also, if you have question of any other topic, there are some topics that we will not talk here in this meeting, but feel open to express any question you have at this moment.
Mm-hmm. So I want to say something about this meditation. It can be a very advanced practice, this going inside, and at the same time it's foundational to all the practice of yoga. Is the first thing we need to do is this pratyahara, turning inside. For me, I can feel that this sort of meditation, going into the nada, is for me a very potentially transformational practice. Because when I do this meditation, it shakes something inside me. I literally feel a sense of fear when I do this meditation. Now, it's not the normal sense of fear where I'm like startled, but it's like I feel like as I go close to this vibration inside, something's physiologically pulling me back. I can feel little shots of adrenaline. My heart rate goes up, and I feel this like I'm literally walking the razor's edge, where if I slip, I could just completely die.
You're beautiful, these.
And to me, this is a sign that is such a powerful meditation technique. Now, this is my experience. It might not be powerful for you like that, but to be on this edge of like, I might die just from this. And the body's like, no, stay here, wake up, panic a little bit, come back to the body. It's like, to me, that is such a sign that there is potential to transform. So if you find a meditation where you have some sort of fear within it. There's a sign that there's so much potential within that technique for you as well.
Yeah, for me it's the opposite. I mean, I really enjoy this kind of meditation, and what is I don't know, because I'm focused on something to try to find exactly the sound, and I feel it's really make my mind quiet. I'm Gemini, like you already know, and my mind is always chatting with everybody in the world. So it's really make I feel more quiet, and especially in the end, I always have brilliant ideas on how to maybe if I'm looking for some inspiration or projects or something.
Maria says, "Me too, Andrew." So she must have been feeling this
Oh.
this scary aspect of the meditation. So I saw we had a question quite early on. Let's see if I can find it again. Marwane says, sorry if I say that wrong, says, I have started the Raise Your Vibration Challenge and don't feel the fire like in the first 3 days. Does that mean something? So, with a lot of these practices, sometimes we feel the most intense effects right in the beginning, whether it's a meditation, a pranayama, a posture. I give you one example. For example, you do the forward fold. The first time you do it, it's really strong. First time you do it in the day, it's like, wow, you feel everything. As you loosen up or as you develop your flexibility, it's much more comfortable and you don't feel it. When we do a certain pranayama, we can feel the energy buzzing through us. But if we continue to do that pranayama every day for a month, we will not feel the energy so much. It's got a dual effect. One is that very strong effect at the beginning of any practice gives us some aspiration. Whoa, it has this potential. Look how much is affecting me. And it's working on the gross layers of your body. It's working more with the physical, more with the energetic. As we go through that process of working with the physical, in the case of Uddiyana Bandha, the first thing is working with pulling the lock. So it's very strong. If it's almost a physical exercise. It's demanding. So we start sweating and, maybe it gives us cramps or hurts the body or we feel this insane heat. As we work to purify those first stages, it becomes more easy and that enables the mind to go more soft and go more subtle. So you might not feel this intense heat, and it doesn't matter. What that gives you the opportunity to, instead of being distracted by the fire or the pain or the intensity, to go into something more subtle, like maybe the movement of energy, maybe the emotions that's coming with Manipura, feeling confident rather than feeling like you're fighting. We go through the fight is, it's exhausting. And then afterwards, we're not fighting anymore, but we feel accomplished. So maybe it's time already after these 3 days for you to go more subtle with the practice. Of course, there's always other factors that affect us, our diet, how we're sleeping, emotional things that are going around us that can make us more or less aware. So these are other factors. But with any practice, and this is for anyone, whenever you start a practice, you get a glimpse of, wow, it's got this potential, and then that fades away. It's also a test. Are you determined to stick to it? Are you willing to continue even if you don't feel that intense effect like you did the first couple times? Did you have any experience where you did a practice that was very strong in the beginning and kind of...
Everything I do in my life is very strong. Not only the practice, many, the relationship. The relationship when we start, it's amazing, it's like, oh, you love so much, you are so passionate, so intense. And then after one point, it happens if you manage to go through the first 3 months, the honeymoon, and then something change. It's different. Now, for example, with Andrew, we are 3 years most that we are together, and quite intense relationship because we are often together because
living together, traveling together, working together.
Nomadic life. So we are often together, and then there are times where we take our time separate. But of course, if I think about when we met and how we are now, it's different. And I'm not telling that the love is disappear. Actually, the love is become bigger, but it's in a more subtle way, in a more different way. And there is constantly checking in our relationship how it's going, and because it's constantly change, and sometimes we think, you remember how amazing was when we start, while we are not there again, while we cannot find and feel this situation again, this, emotion and passion. But we discover other things after, in this practice of relationship, because it's a practice somehow, you discover different way, and different difficult come, and you find a way to go through. So this is another practice where when you start it's amazing, and then, or also with the food, sometimes I cook something, oh, it's amazing, or we find some, I don't know, fruit or something somewhere, and oh, this is amazing, we go for, I don't know, 10 days to eat, only this, oh, amazing, and after say, okay, I'm enough, I cannot eat anymore, so maybe for a time I don't, and then I will implement, in my diet a little bit less. So many things. It's like the practice, you have the first part, it's always more intense, and then it become more. Also, in the other side, when you have some kind of, trouble or misunderstanding or problem, the first, when you have argue, for example, it's really passionate. After a couple of hours, it become something different, and I can, you can go through and find a solution for the problem or the situation. So I think it's one of the most important is this, like it give you some kind of energy to then act in the different direction, depends where is the things.
That's nice. I appreciate that you used a more real life example, like the relationship is very beautiful. Moon says, I heard my heart beating in the sound, and the sound was magical. Thank you.
Yeah, I tell you, when this especially when we start, there are these the internal physical sound that can be part of, because we are kind of searching. It's like a library that we, oh, this is that is, we don't need to give name and shape of the sound, but for sure there are different sounds. Sometimes it not happens also in the normal life, that you have this kind of crackling inside, sometimes happen, or sometimes you have this beep happens, and these are all sound that inside our body, if we could amplify the vibration of inside, there are the heartbeat, the blood. So the heartbeat, it's one of the first step that we do also with the practice. Also, for example, I was doing for a long time Astanga. One of the, of course, is the breath, but it's also the heartbeat. When you start to go to in the practice that maybe you are touch some kind of your limitation, means that you are doing something that is not wrong, but you need to go back to make your breath steady, your heartbeat slowing down, because if you start to practice it, you start to have your heartbeat, and the system are going in alarm, and something is not going where it's supposed to go. So it's a good way to, so when you also we practice the attention to the heartbeat, it's a kind of meditation and tools to see where we are. And especially with meditation, with this kind of meditation, there are nowadays plenty of tests being people that have been tested with a scientific way somehow, and then they notice that the breathing go extremely down, like the heartbeat. There is this idea that you can stop your heartbeat if you are already high level, and there are these people that go in meditation and stay in this state for days, where all the vital organs are really
Slow down to a stop. Yeah.
slow down, almost to stop. So it's a sign, our body, our system still is a sign. So for sure is also here the heartbeat, it can be a start of something, so it's good.
I think this is almost what gives me that sense of fear, is that I feel like I go so in that almost I stop breathing. I feel like everything's about to stop, and it's like, oh shit, so something's like, keep the heart beating, stay in this body.
Because also when you merge with the object, this is the idea. Now we talk in general, the meditation, Pratyahara, first step, we close inside. Okay, so we go in. Then we choose one object. Now the object, it can be really, for this reason there are thousands of meditation, because the object can be really anything. So it can be an image and an emotion and sound and
Some things are
mantra.
more beneficial than
Something,
others, but it can be
yeah,
anything.
and something that is kind of, the object outside of us in some level. Then there is this that when we recognize the object, we have a moment where we see this is the object and this is the subject, and me, object, subject. And this is the, second level where you recognize and then you start to focalize in one things, the object, okay? Then the next step is you become somehow the object. The focus is so intense that you merge with this and you lose the feeling of the body. And this is another step where you can understand. I was in a very deep meditation because you don't have anymore the outline of the body. Your breath goes very slow, and sometimes you think I was breathing or not, because you feel this, and also that you feel and not feel, because in the moment that you realize I'm breathing or not means that you are not anymore
Come
merging
back
with
out,
the,
yeah.
the object, but there are some, slowly, I have this, glimpses sometimes where I'm thinking where I was. I mean, it was that there is this, and can be a small sign where we start really to go. Then eventually, when we manage to merge completely with the object, lose this, then can happen the liberation, because we lose this being, we lose the subject. It is not existent anymore, and so if the subject and the object become one, you merge with the universe, so you reach illumination, and your understanding is behind this reality. So this is the kind of step that kind of happens with meditation.
And this is also why it can be so scary, because that dissolving is what is called ego death.
Yeah.
The surrender of your identification of yourself.
Yeah, sometimes happens, when you are maybe, there is this glimpse of, very merging, that you are like, you have this moment of, because it's this, when I was doing this Kundalini program, very, very, very intense, many time with some strong practice, some strong mudra, I was really jump out of the yoga mat and come outside, because I was like, I'm dying. Is the moment where I really feel that this is, my heart is exploding and I'm dying here. So, and it was always a discussion with my teacher, because I was telling, listen, I cannot do this because I feel that, I will die. Then there is a limitation, because some practice is so strong that, when you start to keep your breathing for 3-4 minutes, it's a really strong practice. So you always need to be careful somehow. But then always it was making me thinking, are you sure that is this, or is the fear of, your ego diet? So check the attachment of this life, that it's a step to do it. So it's a very interesting part of the practice, this feeling I will die, and this huge fear that come. But many times it's maybe as soon you step out of this fear, some crazy and amazing things can happen. So
Maria says, what if the sound doesn't go right away doesn't go away right afterwards? It's okay. And honestly, like what we did in the Zoom class this morning, I was preparing us to be able to go very deeply into this class. For this reason, we sent so much energy here, and we did these practices together to prepare us for exactly this meditation. If the sound stays there, it's okay. Maybe you can stay in that meditation for longer. Even as Clelia is talking now, I'm still in this nada. And what it's doing is I'm able to focus and listen on her, but I'm able to stay in my center. And this is a big training: is to be in the world and simultaneously with the self. So I can be here. I'm not pulled out. I don't feel pulled out. I'm listening. I'm not ignoring, but I'm really centralized, and then from that state, all actions are chosen actions. How I speak or think or emote is all a decision rather than a reaction to the environment.
Yeah, it is great, and also, again, when we become more awake, And more awake means when we become also more, we are more attention to the subtle things, So in this case, again, I also can hear the sound there, but it's make me feel presence and don't react. But also at the same time, because we are more, we training our system to be more awake and to have this attention for the subtle, more opportunity from the universe we are able to see, because the opportunity is always there. The difference is I can see the opportunity or I can't. And when we have stress things, we don't have the ability, because we are not in our center and we are not present in the moment, to take the opportunity, infinite opportunity that the universe are give to us. So in the moment that we train in this system to be present, to be awake, we are also able to grasp the 1,000 infinite opportunity that the universe give to us. So it's a great training, and this be that is there is to make us, I'm present, I'm here, and I have the chance to take my time to speak, to take my time to decide, to take my time to do whatever is it, because I'm present with myself. So it's a great thing.
Rishab says, tell some yoga or exercise on how to create ojas. Now, this is technically not possible. The ojas, for those of you who don't know, is an energy that we're born with. It's like our limited life force that sustains us through our life. And technically, it's what we start with, and it slowly is used up during the life. And if we pass from natural causes, it says that the ojas was used up. Yeah, you took your last breath. Your last breath released the final ojas. So there is no technique to create more ojas. There's only ways to conserve it, and eating sattvic food, eating pure food, clean food, living a modest lifestyle, not doing anything too extravagant, either emotionally, mentally, physically, not doing insane workout.
Keep the system, slow down. For this reason, meditation, slow down of the system.
The life of the monk is one about conserving the ojas, everything in balance, in modesty, and that's what conserves the ojas. You cannot create more.
No, it would be very nice, but
that's a mistake. There are some myths about the Ayurvedic masters that do some magical concoction, but I don't know if it's true. So it's better to say you cannot just be modest.
We can perceive.
Yeah, be conservative, exactly. Nadine says, sometimes I have a loud ringing in my left ear. Maybe it's the nada sound. Who knew? It's happened to me for many years and I didn't know what it was. Agree with you, Andrew, that the razor's edge. Now this can just be tinnitus, which is like my father, for example. He has this because he's worked construction his whole life. He says he's just always got the ringing in the ear. It might not necessarily be the nada, but just like we can use the sound of the heartbeat or any other, anything to internalize us, you can use this as a tool as well. You can go into it and try to make it louder, really let it consume you. Often we try to avoid these things. I used to freak out when I would hear my heartbeat and try to distract myself. I don't know, it would scare me. But again, that fear is that razor's edge. So
yes, at the same time, if it's a constantly beep on your ear, maybe do some check at the physical level, because it can be some problem with the ears, can be some problem with the blood pressure, with the cervical spine, or some, if it's like constantly beep and it's very loud, can be, but also take care about, maybe check at the physical level that maybe something happens and you need your attention. So don't take everything like, oh yes it is, and like this. No, my brother have, for example, and is something that he have, and he find a way to cure with the using something for the teeth because in the night
Braces?
it was too much, so the ear was tired, and so it was this pee constantly. So you find a way, and then he don't hear anymore. So be careful. Sometimes it can be also some different things.
Um, Nadine also says, we are always so close to realizing our full potential of love. It's only our minds that stop us from jumping in fully, I think. 100%. Our mind, or we can call our ego, our sense of separation, because yes, we're all love, we are all connected. And this is what we practice for, to realize that. Vicky says, thank you, Clelia, for the meditation. It was quite a challenge.
Can be, yeah.
Um,
Wiki, try with the earplug if you didn't, because this can be very, very, very helpful, especially when we start, because you really help this, we draw in. So it's helpful also to find this sound, the subtle sound inside.
I used the earplugs for many months when I was first practicing this because it is an advanced technique, and especially if there's other noises, it's very hard to internalize. The challenge becomes when you use the earplugs that then the sound of your breath becomes so loud. So it become another obstacle.
Well, we see in a couple of weeks now we go also in another way to work with this solution.
There's other tools to access the nada, and we plan to introduce them in the coming weeks. Nadine also says, I'm sure being on a tropical island is a bit more easy to feel the passion than in Calgary. Yes, living in Granny's basement.
It's more basic. We met because also in Copenhagen, when before moving, we had some kind of
what is happening?
Adjustment to do it.
It looked like we're frozen now.
Oh, we're frozen.
Let me try. See if it's working. I missed the beginning.